winning edition of the Ciroc Point After, and a first place NFC South edition of the Point After as well, Cajun Cannon.
Yeah, the trifecta. Falcons lose, the Bucks lose, now the Cowgirls lose. It'll be the trifecta. It'll be a perfect Sunday. It'll be a perfect fall day. Saints come out on top. I still don't know how we only won by single digits, being +5 in the turnover margin. I'm like, what? If you'd have told me we were +5 before the game, I said, we're not only going to beat the Bears, so we're going to crush them. You would think +5. I'm not saying you're scoring a touchdown every time, but I said we're probably winning by 20-plus points. Now, I thought the game would be 27-13. I thought the Saints would cover the 8.5, not so fast. I think Vegas is pretty, 8.5, and we had a 7-point lead. It just goes to show you, but you're not going to kick a field goal at the end to make it that double-digit win, 27-17. But, that's one thing. Bears fans are pretty damn loyal. When you look at the Bears fans that travel and show up, I'm like, you want to talk about they're living in the past. Because no Bears fan could talk smack to the Saints. I'm talking about the history of their matchups and what's occurred. Right now, over the last 2 seasons, you know what their record is? 5-21. Okay, now it's not 21-5. 5-21, and the Bears fans, they still are showing up. They more like the baseball version. They more like Chicago Cubs. I think there's young pups. And I know grizzly bear, no big bad bear. But look, the Saints have now won 7 straight games against Chicago. That's counting the playoffs. Again, that's not an opinion. We won 7 straight games against the Bears, counting the playoffs. Like I said, in the Superdome, we've now won 7 straight times. In the regular season, not counting the playoffs, we 7-2 against the Bears in the Superdome. In the regular season, we've now have an edge, 18-13. The reason why I bring this up, they're one of only 11 clubs. Now, there's 31 clubs, but they're one of 11 clubs the Saints have a winning record against. And the 7-game regular season winning streak against the Bears is the longest against any opponent. So if you got Bear family or Bear cousins or friends, now listen, they might be trying to talk bad about the Saints, but you can tell, man, what are you talking about? You better look in the mirror where the Bears are at. But I thought the Bears played hard. The Bears played tough, but I'm very optimistic where we're at right here, being +5 for the season. For the game, now +8 for the season. Ooh. Remember, we won 7 games last year, and we were -11. So, I'm going to tend to look at the glass half full and half instead of half empty in that regard. By us being able to get 3 interceptions, and, you got to be able to make playmakers, not necessarily passes defended when all said and done. Do you know who's leading the NFL right now in interceptions? The Saints, the Who Dat Nation. We got 12 picks on the season. We came into the game 4th. Now, the 49ers and the Jaguars, they have 11, but they're on the bye week, so we're ahead of them. And then you look at the Bengals. Then the Bengals play tonight, Charlie?
Yeah, Sunday Night Football.
So they have 10. So if they get 2, they're going to tie us. If they get 3, and they have the lead. But I'm going to go with the Saints, so the number 1 team taking away the ball by air, by getting interceptions. Again, that's where we're at. Now, you would think, man, we're making this rookie quarterback look all world, right? Like Dennis Allen said, now you can't take away the mistakes because that's all part of football. When you count the interceptions, he looked very confident at times. Is this Justin Fields running?
Way too easy to get.
He ran 70 yards, right at 9-yard average per attempt, extending plays. He actually threw for more yards than Derek Carr. Derek Carr had 211. He had 220, but he had 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Derek Carr had 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. The quarterback rating 109. Well, guess what? Bagent. Is it Bagent or Bagent? I know Jeff always knows it.
Bagent.
Bagent. Say his name right. Don't mess up his name. So Bagent?
Bagent is the correct pronunciation.
Thank you, Jeff. Bagent. He had a quarterback rating of 65.3. Why are you bringing that up, Bobby? Okay, let me tell you why. This is one thing that is very encouraging, that we have gotten after the quarterbacks where we force them into mistakes or they're not very accurate in the game. We're only behind the Ravens right now, opponent QB rating. We were giving up 73.2, which is second best in the league. Well, now today we accomplished 65.3. So that's a good thing. You intercept the ball, the opposing quarterback, he's going to be like on a roller coaster, but he's not going to have a QB rating, and maybe you could force him into mistakes. Now, what is not good, because Dennis Allen said he was going to coach him up. I think he got kind of perturbed with the media. It was like, come on, DA. Well, it's not no magic thing what we do at halftime, making adjustments. All I know is the last 4 games, it's amazing we've even won a game in the first half, how we played defensively. And when you think about it defensively, I mean, because we've been outstanding most season, especially in the second half, but throughout. Coming into the game, we had the 5th overall best defense, number 7 against the pass. Now, middle of the pack against the run. We weren't very good against the run today. I'm elaborating on that later. But when you look at that, you would never know this, but we've done the last 4 games. On defense to start. We've given up last 4 games. In the first half, it's not 927 yards and 122 points. Is our first half defense, is that the LSU Fighting Tigers?
Ouch.
No. Come on. No, I thought realistically, okay, we're going to get right this game on our first half defense. Not so fast. It didn't happen. It just didn't happen. So, I don't know. We played the Vikings. Look, I thought the Vikings had no chance against Atlanta today. But look, they ended up winning. Good for us. The Falcons had a loss, and then the Texans. Look at C.J. Stroud. He sets a rookie record. He threw for almost 500 yards, I think, Charlie. 470 plus, if I'm guessing.
470, yeah.
Around there. And the Texans ended up beating the Buccaneers. So, hey, listen, it doesn't matter if you crush an opponent or you win by 1. You might not be happy with the win, but an ugly win, I always say this, is better than, man, we played awesome. How did we lose that game? I'd rather play ugly and, no, we all won. Because we won't even, it'll be like the beginning of November. It'll be beginning of December. We'll be like, you don't remember what really happened. You just know if you won or lost the game. So I think that's where we're at. Now, looking at the contribution, because I think you're going to see this throughout the season. Looking at Taysom Hill. You got to be un-American not to like Taysom Hill. Well, especially on the field. The same thing on and off the field, but especially like you're a good American if you love Alvin Kamara on the field. I would say Taysom on and off. But Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill on the field. He had 68 yards total. Kamara had 70. So you combine that and how they contribute, that's what you want. You want to have 150 plus yards. But the one thing that caught my attention, Taysom Hill's a record setter. I love records, Steve. I always talk about that. This season, we all know he's lined up at quarterback. He's lined up at tight end, receiver, running back. He needed 39 more yards rushing and 6 more yards receiving to be only the 4th player in NFL history to top 2,000 yards passing, 2,000 yards rushing, and 600 yards receiving in his career. Well, 52 is more than 39 yards. And then he needed, receiving, he needed 6. He got 13. So now Taysom Hill is in that category, only 1 of 4 players in NFL history to top 2,000 yards passing, rushing the football, and yards receiving in a career. And it ain't over.
I was going to say, I got more Taysom history stats for you.
Yeah, tell me this. Is it dealing with Frank Gifford?
Yes, recorded his 10th career receiving touchdown today. Hill's now the 5th player in NFL history, with at least 10 passing touchdowns, 10 receiving touchdowns, and 10 rushing touchdowns in his career. And he's the first since Frank Gifford did it in 1964. All of the previous 4 other players are also in the Hall of Fame.
No, there's going to be, I'm telling you, when all said and done, there might be a special category for Taysom Hill in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. we all remember Frank Gifford with the Giants, and then obviously, when later on, and then he's doing Monday Night Football, and that's Kathy Lee's husband. Frank Gifford.
McCullum's hurt now.
But Taysom is on a level that he has to be a big part of the game plan, game in and game out. Like we played the Vikings, yes. Taysom Hill has to be part of the game plan. Now, one thing I saw in the game, I don't know if I've ever witnessed this. As Michael Thomas played 4 quarters and not caught a ball, I don't know if in his career.
Maybe it was hurting, that year when he played through it. But...
Yeah, but he probably still caught a ball.
Right.
He had 1 target, 0 catches. I don't know if I've ever witnessed Michael Thomas not catching a pass in a game. Well, he did not have one today. Chris Olave had 8 targets, 6 receptions. He led the team 46 yards. He had that 1 touchdown. But how about with the one time? Remember when we went 4 down and didn't make it? And he caught the ball. Oh, why are you falling down? Look, okay, everybody takes the game. Look where he caught the ball. You're going to tell me he couldn't get 1 or 2 yards more? You're going to get hit. It's tackle football. It's not flag football. Don't fall unless a defender makes you fall, or if the ball's at your shoestrings. If it's anywhere around your kneecaps or your thigh, catch the ball and head north and south. Don't catch the ball and fall down. Now, he might say, well, he's little like Brandon Cooks. You don't want to get hit. You don't play in the NFL to be scared, but that's playing scared when something like that happens. I don't know. He's saving himself, trying to last a long time, but look if we get the first down instead of, you know how the game's going to turn out. Instead of all of a sudden a 4 down situation, we'll be giving the ball back to the Bears. That's why those plays like that end up driving me crazy. Now, when I look at it defensively, and I was bragging on about this, but to me, we still need to get a better pass rush at time. When I was looking at it, we had a couple of sacks. Bob, it's not just about sacks. We only had 4 quarterback hurries. It's not like the Bears or the Detroit Lions offensive line. Looking at this, it's like when we play the Lions, we're going to have another one of those 0 sacks, 0 quarterback hurries. Because I thought we'd have been more productive, being more disruptive against a rookie quarterback. Now, Zach Bond, I don't know why.
Oh, he's in your doghouse.
Well, I think he's outstanding. I'd put him on special teams.
Right.
If he's playing in a game and he's on defensive snaps, he's the weak link. They're going to attack him. He ended up with 2 tackles, but so many times. Did we get outflanked in the flat so many times and we weren't feeling enough to contain the quarterback? Well, if that doesn't change, you don't think teams keep trying to run those plays until you can stop it? So I was disappointed in Zach Bond in that regard. I thought Cam Jordan, this was one of his most productive games this season. I thought Cam came to play. I'm not saying he drank the fountain of youth, but Cam came to play. He was 3rd in total tackles with 7. He had a sack, 2 quarterback hurries, and a tackle for loss. I thought, even though Pete Werner recovered a fumble at the end, and he was getting blocked. I don't know. I just see him getting blocked a lot. He had a fumble recovery. Looking at Demario Davis, I think even though Demario Davis was very productive, I don't think our linebackers maybe played as well, that being Demario Davis and Pete Werner, like I thought. But Demario Davis ended up having 10 total tackles, 8 unassisted, a sack, quarterback hurry, tackle for loss, a forced fumble. But the one who showed up and was DB1 today was not Marshawn Lattimore. It was all Paulson Adebo.
What a day.
Paulson Adebo was outstanding. Steve, look how active he was. He had 7 total tackles, second best, tied with Cam Jordan. Second best, unassisted 5, 2 interceptions, 3 passes defended. And you know what's awesome? You know what's double dipping? Whenever you could force a fumble and then you recover it. Sometimes you force a fumble, you don't know where the ball is going and you don't recover it.
No, someone else hopefully on your team scoops it up, right?
Right. But if you can force a fumble and you recover it, it doesn't get better than that. So Paulson Adebo, right. He almost played like, for sure he should get 2 game balls. Now, maybe If he'd have been like perfect, then you give him 3, but like 2.5. But he should definitely get a lot of recognition there. But I thought I was disappointed in our pass rush. Also disappointed in our run defense. Again, when you look at it, we gave up 5 yards a carry. So 4.9 is 5 yards, 156 yards. You got to count the quarterback yards. You cannot say, oh, if I take out the quarterback rushing yards, this is what we did. No, they had 32 rushes, 156, 4.9 yard average. Bajan had like 9 yard average. But even Foreman, a traditional running back, he averaged 4.2. He ended up having 83 yards. And, that's one area. Okay, I'm going to tell you. And we had been amongst the top 5, but not so much this season. Coming into the game, we were ranked 20th. Now, we outstanding overall defense, pass defense, but 20th against the run. So that definitely has to improve because I think we have the skill set to be able to do this. Even though our offense, we didn't have one of those unbelievable days like we're having 400 or 500 yards of total offense because, we all got our game by the Bears 368 to 301. But when you look at it, I still think that our defense has to be outstanding. How we structure to win. Now, we don't want our defense just to be average. I mean, our offense to be average. You got to be good, very good. But our defense has to be outstanding. I think that's going to be critical. And it helps you outstanding. Look, we held them to 17 points. Well, hell yeah, you get 5 turnovers. You should hold them to 17. No, if you go in theory, if you break down the percentages, this kind of game, if you plus 5 instead of 24-17, that should be 30-something to 17. I don't know, 34-17, 38-17. But nothing's easy right now for the Saints. But as long as they win, we win, and we in first place in the NFC South.
We're going to pause 10 seconds now to let stations identify themselves on the Community Coffee Saints Radio Network. Saints 24-17 winners over the Chicago Bears, improving to 5-4 on the season. Now in first place in the NFC South. We'll be back with more on the Ciroc Point right after this on the Community Coffee Saints Radio Network.